Now entering Nerdist.com.
You know, I rode an elevator up one story with Paul McCartney the other day.
Get the fuck out of here.
The God's honest truth.
About this. Where was this at?
I was at the Four Seasons in Beverly Hills. I was there for a press day for Jupiter Ascending. And I just waiting in the lobby and heard like a familiar voice. And I'm like, oh, why do I know that voice? And then he I'm just like standing there by myself, not saying anything. He turns around and looks at me and like stares at me for a moment. I'm like, why is he staring at me?
Yeah.
Why do I know this guy? Then it dawns on me, and he sees it dawn on me, and then he turns around. I'm just like, were you waiting till I recognized you? And then he was just talking with like his wife or his trainer or someone. Yeah. I'm not sure. A pretty lady, and they were both in exercise gear. It was weird seeing Paul McCartney in like wind pants and exercise shoes.
If you ever see, regardless of where you're headed, if Paul McCartney gets on an elevator, you're going somewhere up that elevator. You're going to the floor above wherever he gets on.
I did not. I was like, I gotta make it for an interview, so I should have changed my plans. But
like you mean no matter what you ride that elevator, hoping he doesn't get off at the top floor.
I missed my chance. I missed my opportunity to ask him to be on the podcast, and B,
what he thinks of Kanye. No.
To be like,
how's your new project?
How come you never hosted Shining Time Station?
Yeah. You missed out.
Why did Ringo get all the glory?
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan just failed this city. If you
have failed this city. Oliver Queen killed me because I didn't get Paul McCartney on a podcast. Do the Beatles exist in the DC universe?
They better.
I don't think they do.
They have to. They exist. In
they have like no. Well, that's because Marvel uses real cities. Use like they have New York. Yeah. DC has Gotham.
DC had the Roodles. DC had the monkeys.
The caterpillars.
This is a fun episode.
Yeah, this is a very fun episode, you guys. If this is your first time listening to Today We Learned, welcome. What took you so long? Doesn't matter. We're happy you're here.
We're happy you're here, and boy, do you have a catalog to catch up on.
Boy, howdy. Bo diddly. Scatman
Skiddly-dap, ba-doo-doo-doo-bop.
Dee-dap bow.
Christopher
But we're not here to talk scat. That's on another pad. That's on another Scatcast.
Today we Scatcast.
Today we scatted. Guys, today, if you're a fan of Flight of the Conchords, if you're a fan of cult comedies like Eagle versus Shark, if you remember
Men in Black 3.
Yes, specifically the villains.
If you're a fan of the villains of the Men in Black franchise.
If you're a fan of forthcoming vampire mockumentaries called What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Then hold on to your butts.
Yeah. If you're a fan of Kickstarter things.
Yeah, if you're a fan of crowdfunding or crowd fun.
Yeah.
Or just crowds.
Or crowding.
Yeah.
Crowding the elevators with Paul McCartney.
If you're a fan of the search engine Bing, get out. We don't want your ears.
We don't. I just read somewhere that Bing's cost Microsoft like $9 billion or $9 million, a shit ton of money.
Well, it certainly didn't make them money.
It didn't make them Bing.
Thank you for putting Jonah Ray in your ads.
Yeah, thank you for that.
That was a fun couple of months where I hated loading Hulu videos.
Oh, man, it was literally everything. Like every video was.
Well, I'm sure they paid Jonah well, for which I'm happy for him.
I'm very happy.
It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I would do that.
Jonah, I know you'll never hear this.
I'll be in a Bing commercial for a quarter of what you paid, Jonah.
For a quarter.
This is a great episode, guys. We have two very, very funny guests, two very knowledgeable guests.
Writers, directors, actors, gaffers, I presume.
Fans of vampires. Mm-hmm. Fans of...
Vampires.
They're
super into blood play. We all swapped blood at the end.
We're blood brothers for life.
Blow bros for loaf.
Hashtag blow bros. Hashtag. There's two hashtags.
Yes, that is the hashtag. Join the conversation.
Join the conversation. Spread the knowledge.
Yes.
Make it happy.
Find us on Pinterest. Under vision boards.
Yeah, this is episode 75.
75, you guys.
Guys, we've made it. We want to thank you. We're older than Batman, right? Or are we as old as Batman?
We're as old as Batman. Guys, today's episode is brought to you by P for Perseverance.
Yep. It's brought to you by the letter B for Perseverance.
And brought to you by the letter A for always believing in yourself.
Yeah, it's all ABC, always be leaving in your surveillance.
Yeah, something coffees for closers.
Put the coffee down.
Yeah.
What's your name? Fuck you, that's my name. The leads are weak. I was just quoting that for like 2 hours with my brother today. That 6 minutes that Alec Baldwin is in the movie.
It just storms into Glengarry Glen Ross and like a tornado.
If you don't know what we're talking about, look up Alec Baldwin, Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah.
That scene's just very good. It's very great. It's inspirational to an extent.
Yeah.
And
then think twice about whether he earned that latte.
Yeah, exactly.
Did he close?
I don't know. But yeah, we're gonna get right into the show here. You guys are in for a treat.
Yeah.
It's very fun. Very
like a creamsicle on a hot day.
Yeah.
This episode is a treat.
it's a treat.
Like
These guys-
like a hot fudgicle on a cold day.
Yeah.
This episode is a treat.
It's a treat. It's you guys are gonna enjoy it. So let's just get right into it, and then everybody hate mail Dan for missing out on getting Paul McCartney on this show.
Guys, I tried.
Everybody sent him
I'll
that.
get you the roadie from Wings. I lifted the amps.
So tell us, Rhodey from Wings, what do you got coming up next week? Where can people find you?
I'm going to be at the Dockin reunion show.
Dockin. Alrighty. So today we learn number 75 with Taika Waititi and Jemaine Clement.
Today we learn.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
All right. Hello and welcome to Today We Learned.
Hi guys. How are you guys doing?
Pretty well. Thanks for asking. I'm
thank
speaking
you.
for
I'm
the
speaking
listener.
For the listener.
Yeah.
The listener just stopped.
I fight for the
everything.
users. I speak for the listeners.
This is a fun episode.
Yeah,
man.
I'll say.
Yeah.
We got a couple exciting guests.
Oh, very exciting.
And they have a brand new movie coming out, What We Do in the Shadows, an exciting vampire mockumentary. Very funny guys.
It's a very funny movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Ooh.
I've saw it. Everybody, all the listeners, I'm going to preface this. I'm just going to cover all my
seed it.
bases because I always confuse I always confuse which usage of
past
seen
tense
and
and-
saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't let the listener dictate what participle you use.
I have
you
seen.
should say everyone and then edit.
Yeah.
And so you only say
Yeah.
the
In
right one.
every region that this is released. Yeah, it's a very funny movie.
Yeah.
I like it.
You'll
Go
let me
ahead.
introduce
I'll
them?
let you
Oh,
introduce
thank
the
you.
two. I'll
So,
give you the
so
honor.
lovely.
Neither of you want to because you both don't know how to say my
No,
name.
I do, and I know this because you guys were just on Doug Loves Movies.
We were discussing how to
and I was listening to it. I'm like, I'm going to listen to it to see how Doug pronounces it.
Little
Oh,
research.
Yeah. I
So
did
we
some
have
research.
with us Jemaine Clement and Taika Waititi.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
of them.
so good.
Yeah.
You got both
Every,
of them.
Close one.
every interview and podcast it gets better and better.
Yeah.
Well, they all listen to
Yeah,
each
the
other.
previous one and then.
Previously.
Previously on Taika.
Well, hi. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here,
joining us,
guys.
Also, you guys you were in the Humor Beasts. You guys
Was your
go way
comedy
back.
duo.
Oh,
Comedy
we-
duo.
you know our
years
work.
ago.
You
Yeah.
know
We are
Human
the
Beasts,
human
yeah.
beasts, or we were the human beasts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still are, but we haven't gone by that name for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
We,
Jemaine and I.
we just go by our normal names these days.
It's Taika and Jemaine. And yeah, we just did a lot of kind of theatrical comedy, really.
Like sketch
With
stuff?
sketches and
Sketches and plays.
plays,
Nice.
we write
Comedy
plays
plays.
and stuff. Yeah.
I like it.
Now we're making movies.
Now
Yeah.
you're making vampire movies.
Yeah, so
Vampire
tell
movies.
me, I was intrigued in particular that you guys went with the mockumentary style. What about that in particular attracted you?
It's
genre.
that we wanted to make it a mockumentary about something you couldn't really document.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm
'cause
glad
I
they do
often-
show up on film, I'm pleased to know.
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
They sometimes on old cameras they don't show up in your viewfinder. A lot of people get confused about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I think people say, "How do they show up in your camera?" It's because
You can understand how cameras work. The
the
mirror
shutter-
lifts up when the photo's taken. So it's not-
Yeah, the shutter exposes directly onto the film. So
just
even
hard
in
to
old
frame.
cameras, digital cameras, they
Yeah.
all work. They don't work with mirrors. But I think what's been happening is a lot of people have gone to take a photo of a camera, looked in the viewfinder, and the viewfinder has a mirror, so
you can't frame up.
I can't see them. It's not going to work. But they don't
just need a
even
great
bother
DP.
recording it
Yeah.
or pressing the button.
It's the whole movie is just this, like, there's no vampires in the movie at all. It's just the sounds of them talking, like, where things floating, objects
It's a podcast.
floating around.
Yeah, it's a mockumentary podcast. It's the next logical step. So,
Fun times.
I was saying, what about vampires, obviously? Did you base it on any particular vampire mythos? You just try to weave together a bunch of different strands?
We took the most recurrent and, the dominant ones.
Mm-hmm.
We don't recognize Twilight as
It's not part of the canon?
You don't blaspheme. This podcast is over.
Yeah.
Well, we
said good
reference
day.
it. We reference
The
it.
major
but we
difference-
don't give it as much recognition.
the major difference is in Twilight when they go into the sun they sparkle, and that's why they avoid the sun.
Yeah.
And
They're too noticeable?
we think that's a dangerous message to send to vampires.
Yeah.
Who are obviously they'll
Especially
burst
young
into
vampires who
flames.
watch
Yeah.
that, young impressionable.
Only a couple
teen
centuries old.
vampires who-
A lot of kids are probably becoming vampires because of Twilight, and they can't wait to get out in the sun.
Absolutely.
with catastrophic
Be who you
results.
are. You know, it's
Yeah.
like that Coca-Cola commercial. You know,
Yeah.
be happy. or
There's
whatever.
been fewer teen pregnancies, but way more teen undead thralls.
Vampire deaths.
Yeah.
Sunlight accidents, we call them.
So we usually like to start off the show with our guests giving a fact about themselves, something that people might not know about them, maybe something they learned recently. Could be
A fact about yourself.
Yeah.
Or anything,
no, it
or-
doesn't have to be about yourself. That was just
he
a
misplaced the comma.
Fact about yourself you've learned recently.
yeah. Maybe you just had an epiphany.
Yeah, or anything, something you learned recently. Regardless,
Okay.
there's zero rules
Yeah.
to this show.
Okay,
really.
just a
So,
fact.
yeah, a
Right.
fact.
Just a fact. Yourself can be involved, but it's
Shall
not
we-
a
shall I-
prerequisite.
Yeah, you can lay it on us.
Okay. The word Arctic, as in the Arctic, the North Pole, is from the ancient Greek Arctos, meaning bear. And so Arctic literally means has bears. Antarctic means doesn't have bears. And that's how you can remember which one has polar bears. Because there are no polar bears in the South Pole. And whenever they have commercials or anything where polar bears and penguins are hanging out, that's not realistic. They do not hang out. They're in different poles.
So Coca-Cola's been lying to us with their ads.
Yeah. Quite shocking.
So,
Yeah. But
the
that
Arctic, there are no penguins up north in the Arctic. Then.
No.
I did not know
That's
that.
bears, remember?
Yeah.
Arctic
Bears.
means has bears.
Also Greek
Yeah.
for no penguins.
yeah.
But that is a handy trick for remembering if you're planning out your Arctic or Antarctic
Yeah.
vacation.
If you're worried about polar bears,
Yeah.
go to the Antarctic.
That's why they have all the
No bears.
scientists in the Antarctic.
If you're
They
worried
have to
about
worry
penguins,
if you're if you're worried after seeing penguins in Madagascar.
But you love bears.
yeah.
if you're a bear lover,
If you're Werner Herzog, then go to the Arctic.
yeah.
Polar bears.
Yes.
In particular, yeah.
West Hollywood also has a lot of bears.
Oh. I hear what you're saying.
All animal control.
I haven't learned anything recently that I can remember. I just cannot remember.
Now,
I've met
often-
interesting people.
often when
I
I-
didn't learn anything from them.
Yeah.
Often when I hear you having conversations, you're saying something
telling.
about yams.
About how amazing yams are.
Yeah, something about something about crop planting.
Oh, well, okay, this is actually a really interesting fact.
Yes.
Have you heard of the Three Sisters?
No.
Okay, well, the Three Sisters is the beans, squash, and corn. And they're called the Three Sisters because when you co-plant them together, they each plant supports the other two. So beans, they wrap around the corn and they provide stability for the corn when it's growing. The squash anchors both those plants to the ground, and all three of those plants, when you eat them together, when you combine them, they form a perfect protein.
Oh,
wow.
So that's
is
the
interesting.
Native Americans were. That was one of their secrets.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
Wild.
there's nothing about yams.
Nothing about yams. Nothing about yams.
It's yam related.
Oh, I know. That's
Yam
right. No,
adjacent.
that's one thing I did discover. I really love yams.
and it's known as companion planting, where you plant things that the.
He's reading this. He's not just agreeing. He's reading.
You should preface this by, that's right. I remember.
Oh yes, the Three Sisters.
Planting.
Oh, you mean the planting method that appeared on the back of the 2009 Sacagawea coin?
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. I mean, these squash leaves also act as living mulch type of planting.
Wow. That is really cool, though.
Yeah, that is really neat.
Yeah.
It's
More a farming podcast.
Yeah.
That's our spinoff.
Yeah, right.
Today we farmed.
So to use a thick grain mulch or a
Yeah.
thin grain mulch for optimal results?
What's interesting too about like that type of stuff is how long, because they've been farming for thousands of years or whatever.
Who have?
The Native Americans
yes.
and to discover the
Humans
sister
as well.
humans.
They have. Those humans.
The royal they.
You can't see these guys.
Yeah.
But they're they is a massive populace, and it's like things like that where you learn that over time. Like, hey, let's try and plant these squashes with these vine plants to anchor them, and it's like it's all trial and error. I guess, which you wonder how they decide to do that.
Many, many seasons of trial and error when they planted squash with bananas and didn't work.
No.
Tomatoes.
Also, they just don't. It's just not a good meal blending squash and bananas together.
The stuff that you want to eat together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's more a smoothie culture.
Yeah. The ancient smoothie cultures.
The original Jamba Juice.
The Jumper tribe.
You gentlemen are both from New Zealand.
Correct.
Okay.
Learning all kinds
So
of
we've been led to believe.
So another thing I've learned today.
Yeah, I did not know that. Milford Sound.
So you get MILF.
Milford Sound. Is that how you pronounce it, right?
Milford Sound.
Milford Sound is one of New Zealand's most famous tourist destinations, correct?
Correct.
Right. It is a fjord in the southwest of New Zealand's South Island within Fiordland National Park. Now, apparently, I'm reading it's incorrectly named.
It's also inhabited by MILFs.
Ooh.
So many.
It's a fjord of MILFs.
What is the sound that they make?
Ord.
Oh, wow. See, the more you know.
What were you about to say?
Oh no, I'm just thinking of how you guys should do next to a mockumentary about just like frat boys going to Milford to bang hot moms.
Oh, okay.
Stupid. That's why.
Just a quick elevator pitch.
That's why I make zero movies.
Yeah, well.
But
you
the
never
irony is, though, a lot more people would watch that than would watch
That's why you show them as a double
independent
feature.
film. Yeah.
An evening of mockumentaries. And Rudyard Kipling actually called Milford Sound the eighth wonder of the world.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been a bunch of people dubbing things eighth wonder of the
I've
world.
heard
Would
that.
you-
I'm sorry about my ignorance here. I've heard that name a lot. Who's that guy?
Rudyard Kipling.
He's an author. Just those stories.
Okay.
You know all those stories where it's how the leopard got his spots, right? How it came to
He
be.
wrote the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I've seen that.
A bunch of other short stories. Gunga Din. He was
Seen that?
Oh, Jumanji.
yeah.
Wrote
Gunga
Jumanji.
Yeah. He inspired the film Jumanji.
Yeah.
At night at the museum.
He was like a British colonial.
Yeah, he was British colonialist, lived in Bombay for a good portion of his life, wrote a lot of short stories, poems. One of his most famous ones was that poem, The White Man's Burden, which was
Oh, yeah.
dissected in English classes across the land. I remember studying that in high school.
I couldn't tell you one thing about poetry, so I'm
What
just
about
gonna
the white
Google.
man's burden?
It's super heavy.
What's it like?
It's real tough.
Yeah. I'm quarter Māori, so I don't. I know 3/4.
Yeah,
what it's
I
like.
half know.
Yeah. I know.
There's a lot of
It's hard out there.
It's hard out there for a half Māori.
Yeah.
there's a lot of interbreeding in New Zealand. That's another thing. A lot of racial mixing. I know.
We're cool with it.
We're fine with it.
Yes, please.
People have been coming around to it.
Over here, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's a hot new
but
trend.
it's
Seems
still
more
a
like
thing.
a-
It's still a thing.
Seems,
Yeah.
it seems more like a sort of niche thing you find on a website.
Well, no, they had exactly. Yeah, just sort.
Because,
Just
yeah.
take safe
if
search
you want,
off.
But if you've been told that,
Did you mean?
if the races can't mix, it's not true. They can mix. You can mix them together.
we're proof, Jermaine and I.
Yeah.
are proof.
Exhibit
That's
A
part of the
and
reason
B.
here.
We haven't tried it ourselves.
Here to plug
Yeah.
our movie and also just to tell
Yeah.
the world that interracial mixing works.
You can produce offspring.
Finally, we have a conclusive answer.
No,
Exclusive on Today We Learned. Milford Sound is apparently incorrectly named.
why is that?
Well,
Because as a sound, in fact, a sound is in fact a large sea or ocean inlet larger than a bay, deeper than a bight, and wider than a fjord, while Milford Sound is formed by the actions of glaciers. So geologically, a fjord is a long, narrow inlet with steep sides or cliffs created by glacial erosion. So technically, Milford Sound is a fjord.
We
and not a
cannot.
sound.
We cannot let that get out. The
Yeah.
New Zealand Tourism Board will collapse.
They could just. I mean, they could save
they hear
on
that
signage
news.
by like Mill Fjord. That's just.
No, we've just
I think it would help because no one knows
80%.
what a sound is.
Yeah.
I didn't know until I'm reading this, and I was like compiling some facts, and I'm like,
So
what's
what
the
is
sound?
it classified as?
It would
What-
be it
in
would be-
reality, what should it be?
It would
should
be a
be a fjord.
It should be a fjord.
If I was on the boat
I would just,
with
it's
the
not a
with the
lake.
explorers that named it that, I would have just come back with what you said.
Like you
I
got.
think you'll find.
It's a fjord.
You're making a huge mistake.
Milford Fjord.
You're gonna be so
Milfjord
embarrassed in a couple
Fjord.
thousand years.
This is why nobody knows what sounds are, because the standard usage would be a straight. So like, most people refer, like, you have the straights, and that's technically what a sound is. So sound is kind of like
It's a lost word because
a
everyone
lost
uses
word.
straights.
Yeah, everybody uses the straight.
We also have the Marlborough sounds. I wonder if they're
actually sounds.
Do you want to look up Marlborough?
Yeah.
Oh, this is so-
MARLBOR.
MARL.
Like the cigarette brand with
Exactly.
the GH at the end.
Yeah.
It's only because we have to go back to New
And to
Zealand
you.
and tell everyone these things are wrong.
You guys-
This is what we learned.
We gotta make some changes.
Marlborough sounds. Now, does that look like more like a sound?
They're an extensive network of sea-drawn valleys at the north end of the South Island of New Zealand.
Sea-drawn valleys. They should be Marlborough sea-drawn valleys.
The Marlborough Sounds were created by a combination of land subsidence and rising sea levels at the north of the South Island.
They're very beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds
these
like
pictures
yeah.
look amazing. There's even a space shuttle in this one.
Yeah, holy cow!
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, just a space shuttle
Yeah,
cruising
that
over.
one that's
Miss
always
home.
just chilling above New Zealand,
Spying on
Yeah.
our sounds.
stealing our secrets,
The secrets of our New Zealand
recording,
sounds.
always
Going,
recording.
wait a minute, that's a fjord.
Wait till they hear about this on an American
Alabama. They
podcast.
don't have sounds.
Well, here's another interesting fact. Japan has the highest number of vending machines per capita, pretty much anywhere in the world, with about one machine for every 23 people.
It doesn't surprise me.
No, I've been there multiple times, and they do have vending machines pretty much everywhere you look for pretty much every conceivable thing. And
I'm
they're
just going to conceive of a thing or two and see if I've got one.
try me.
Well, I know they've got the underpants ones.
Yes, they do.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
They're not as prevalent as like the soft drink machines, but
But
they're there.
But
Rightly so.
Do they have
Yeah.
shoelace vending machines?
presumably, I would be shocked.
It's
And appalled.
every conceivable
Yeah,
vending machine. They have it.
exactly. I was
Yeah, so
very
yes.
clear.
What about?
But there's
Yes,
also
they have it.
there are more vending machines in Japan than there are people in New Zealand, according to this.
yeah.
Are you making fun of us?
No,
Okay. No, just joking.
I didn't say
Just
they're more
joking.
valuable.
I was only joking, but he looked really worried that he'd offended me. That in New Zealand, that is a big insult to say there are more vending machines in another.
What are you saying about our
another
numbers?
Country. There's 4 million people in New Zealand, so how many vending machines are there in Japan?
4,000,001.
Wow, they just beat us.
Yeah,
Got to
just
keep
now,
breeding.
edge
We've
you
got to
guys
get some more
out.
breeding going on.
Yeah, just need to have one more baby.
More breeding, less dying.
Yeah,
Well, let's see here. So Japan. See if it says the population here. Population estimates of 2014 are 126.4 million. So if 1 out of every 23,
They really go for it.
Yeah.
4. That's about it. That makes sense. I'm going to stop doing the math.
The math works out.
It's smaller than New Zealand, isn't it? Is it? Can we find that out? Land
The
mass?
area,
geographically.
the total area is 377.9, so 378 kilometers.
What?
145.9 square miles.
Of
The area
Japan?
Of Japan. So
It's big. It's bigger than you'd expect.
You look
That
flabbergasted.
just sounded really small.
Yeah. Well, it's not to scale on
Yeah.
the map.
Yeah.
That's usually my issue with it.
The
It's as big as my little finger on this map.
How am I supposed to visit?
believe it or not, it's only the New Zealand's area is 268 kilometers square kilometers, 103.4 square miles. So there's only really, it's like 150. No, it's 109. It's only 109 square thousand, 109,000. Yeah, 109,000 square. So it's in you know
comparable.
Yeah.
It's not that much bigger. It's not
We
like
could do
it's-
better.
Yeah.
It's not that much bigger.
Start
We
making
have
some
a-
man-made islands.
Yeah, we have a lot of space.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Don't tell people that. It's all the land's taken up.
There was,
okay?
um,
It's all
full,
taken up.
every
There's
square foot.
Nothing left for anyone else, so don't come down there.
I was reading. Speaking of that, I read a thing on Reddit. It was a similar study where if everybody lived as compact as if you take the population of Manhattan and as packed as it is on Manhattan, and put the entire world's population in that size of ratio, they would all fit in New Zealand.
Everyone in the world
how many
would
people
fit-
live in Manhattan? They'll definitely fit in. I mean, there must be a similar population, no?
That would be
About
amazing.
1.6 million people
About,
live in
you reckon?
Manhattan.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm going off estimates from 2013.
Yeah.
yeah, I know a couple of people who've moved there since then.
Yeah. So we could probably bump that up to 1.8 million.
There's like a
What about Brooklyn?
Brooklyn?
I want to see if there are more people in Brooklyn than in New Zealand.
2.59 million.
Okay, so if you add Brooklyn to Manhattan,
Yeah,
then
so then
it's
you'd have
about
like 4.1, 5.1.
that's about the population of New Zealand.
Yeah.
yeah,
And just those two boroughs.
yeah. So there's a lot of people here.
Who wore it better?
New Zealand's got way more. I'd almost rather live in New Zealand than New York, only because I like to hike and I like the outdoors.
We have a lot of outdoors.
Yeah.
You would love it.
So we've heard.
It-
Although I've heard conflicting reports on this very podcast.
New
We
York.
don't have that many doors.
Yeah. It's a lot of just open entryways.
Yeah, just getting up to go to the
Yeah.
bathroom is classified as
French windows.
hiking.
He's joking, but I did have a house like that.
Long hallways.
No, just the
drop.
the toilet and the bath were outside.
Oh, lovely. Nice outhouse.
Yeah.
The New Zealand apparently was. I was reading was uninhabited up to like 900 years ago. It's a very new, very new country, and that's
Yeah,
and it's
So how's
located.
that been working out?
it's good.
So far, so good.
More people are coming.
Yeah.
So here's something. We'll go. You guys. What we do in the shadows is about vampires. Did you do a lot of vampire research?
Yeah.
To like, did you try and obviously you took from a lot of things to researching of vampires and all that. What?
Mainly movies, but also we did read books about vampire folklore and
Yeah.
Eastern European
Yeah.
Books
stories.
where they'd like put fake bits of drops of blood on the pages and stuff, and made the pages look like old parchment.
It was very detailed.
Really,
Stayed in coffee
yeah,
first.
Very-
very reliable source.
Yeah.
yeah.
Burned the edges to make it look.
What
like
was what's your favorite vampire movie?
I would say probably Let the Right One In.
Nice.
Oh, that's
The
a good one.
original or the remake?
The remake is Let Me In.
Oh, is it? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
I really love The Lost Boys, but I think
that's a
I
good
think Coppola's Dracula is really good because of the effects. Everything's in camera, and I love
Yeah.
all their old style,
Yeah.
and it's over the top. acting
Yeah,
as well.
exactly.
It's so good.
So you want to hear some vampire facts? That
Absolutely. Yeah.
Some vamp facts.
Lay them down.
This is what we learned. And this is all true, well,
100% true.
stuff that was written down that we
True
remembered.
folklore.
You can't lie in a book.
Yeah.
There's no way to fact check.
If it's got blood droplets on it,
We got
Must be
DNA
like it's
evidence.
been
You
singing
can't
in
lie
an
now.
oven. Yeah.
Okay, one way to get rid of a vampire
Yes.
is to take one of his socks, put garlic in it, tie the sock up, and throw the sock in the river, and the vampire will follow it.
Interesting. He's drawn to his clothing?
He just
Or the
wants it
garlic?
back. He just wants the sock back.
Do not.
You don't. Just like everyone else, vampires don't carry extra socks
Yeah.
around. And the hard part is getting the sock off him.
Yeah.
And what happens? All rivers lead to the sea and down to the river mouth, and you'll find lots of vampires down there trying to sort out their socks. Is that your sock? No, that's not
Well,
my
that's why
sock.
in the-
I've got
that's-
a stripy sock, and then they've got to untie and get rid of the garlic. It's just
Yeah.
a hassle for them, so
Yeah.
it just gets rid of them for a while. And then
Yeah.
I'm not going back to that village.
Yeah. That's why in Lost Boys they hung out on the beach because they were just waiting for all
Yeah.
the socks.
All the
to
socks,
swim.
yeah.
And sandals do not suit them.
Just hang out by their dryer.
It's
They have
true,
to wash
you
the
never
socks at
see
some point.
vampires in sandals.
Yeah, it's not doesn't really work with the whole cowl. Yeah. It's a little
And Crocs.
Yes.
And Crocs.
Vampire
Because
chefs.
they dry.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one from Eastern
Croc
European.
Dracula.
Oh, yeah, nice. Well, I like that. Here's another one from Eastern European folklore. Vampires can transform into a number of things, and one of them is a pumpkin.
Wow.
I've never seen a vampire and a pumpkin in the same place.
I think that was just something made up by someone trying to discredit the local pumpkin seller. Just, don't buy his pumpkins.
One of the-
Could be
someone-
a vampire.
Some of them are
Someone using the
vampires.
Three Sisters method of agriculture, a little
Yeah.
jealous of local gourd salesmen.
That's. I just envision like that type of logic because that existed at some point.
Oh, there wasn't the one about like if like a woman either like looks at you funny or like refuses your advances. It's possible she's a vampire.
I think you said that, and it was lesbian.
Yeah. Oh, she's probably a lesbian.
Or a vampire.
Or a vampire.
Either or.
There's something there. Well, there is something like if there is like some sort of thing like blood in the drawn in the milk or in the afterbirth or something like that. That the child's a vampire. I can't remember.
Or if a bat flies over your grave,
No, when the water breaks and there's blood in it,
the child's a
the
vampire.
child's a vampire. That's. I mean, I'm not a doctor. This is Eastern European folklore from centuries ago. So I wouldn't take this as a
I
fact.
think that comes from a doctor who didn't like the sight of blood and sort of and was grossed out and
shouldn't
then
be-
ran
shouldn't
away.
have
Said,
been
I
a
don't know. I
doctor."
just don't want to go back
This
there.
is
It's
what you
probably a
get.
vampire.
This is what you get for conceiving in sin.
Yeah. So one thing, I'm reading something. I pulled up a list of vampire facts. This one comes from the
You don't
Vampire
have to
book.
say facts like that.
Well, I'm
Actual
not.
facts.
It's from facts.randomhistory.com, so that's why I'm not positive. Not familiar with their website, but this is from the Vampire book, the Encyclopedia of the Dead, published by J. Gordon Melton. So take it up with him. But the idea that sunlight can kill vampires is a modern invention.
Yes.
And rumored to have been started by the U.S. government to scare superstitious gorillas in the Philippines, like guerrilla fighters, not like powerful apes, in the 1950s. And sunlight can be used by vampires to kill other vampires, as Anne Rice showed in Interview with the Vampire.
Wait a minute.
It's actually
how does that discourage gorillas?
Maybe discourage them from coming out during the day, or maybe I
Because
don't know.
they're vampire
I don't, or maybe,
Hey,
oh no, to prevent
guess what,
them
guys?
from attacking at night because vampires would
the
come out then.
vampires go. So they're
They don't really
encouraging them
elaborate.
to go out in the daytime.
I think what they did is they sent a memo to the enemy and said, turns out you guys are vampires and you are allowed out in the daytime.
Oh no!
Damn it. Well, everyone stay inside.
Yeah,
So-
we don't have night vision goggles. We're guerrilla fighters.
the actual that the in the I have, about the sunlight. ties into Bram Stoker's Dracula and Nosferatu.
You know it's Bram Stoker.
Bram Stoker. Yeah,
He's talking about.
I'm
the
talking
adult
about the
novelist.
adult. I'm talking about the adult version.
Stroker.
The Stoker,
Yeah.
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bam Stroker.
It's hard, but it's hard not to say Stroker.
Yeah.
Because I've
It
had
is.
to
I
say
say it,
Bram
yeah.
Stoker a lot, and sometimes Stroker does slip out.
Yeah.
It's the sequel to Debbie Does Dallas. Debbie
Does
Does
Dracula.
Transylvania. Yeah.
Bram strokes the Dracula.
Sunlight in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Sunlight isn't fatal, but instead it drained most of his powers. The sunlight being deadly was created and first introduced in the 1922 film Nosferatu, which was when it depicted being deadly as vampires.
So Dracula, according to Bram Stoker,
Yeah.
was like a reverse Superman.
Yeah.
Sunlight sapped his strength.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Superman is a hero created here in the
Okay.
States.
Tell me more about the Superman.
Name is Clark Superman.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Lives off of La Brea over there.
Okay.
And he doesn't work on Sundays also.
Yeah, he's a food blogger.
Nosferatu, here's something about Nosferatu. Fun fact. The film, shot in 1921, was released in 1922. It was an unauthorized adaptation of Dracula, and they ended up. That's why they had to change They changed Count Dracula to Count Orlok, and instead of using the word vampire, they used Nosferatu. And they ended up losing to Stoker's heirs and family in the lawsuits, and the Stoker heirs forced them to destroy all copies of the film and all that, but one survived, and it ended up getting
it still
leaked,
plays.
and it still plays.
Wow.
That one film that
Luckily.
somehow, luckily,
Yeah.
and now it's like holds the as of 2014, it is Rotten Tomatoes' second best reviewed horror film of all time.
And the Stokers almost destroyed it.
Yeah.
How do they feel about it now?
Yeah.
I'd love to see what the Stokers, how they feel about it. Oh,
But it is pretty
Nosferatu.
Grinding their teeth.
outrageous of those film people to just change the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's just do this book with a different name.
Well, that's
They'll
what,
never know. This is Hollywood.
back to back to Twilight in a sense, changing as far as changing names. That 50 Shades of Grey movie started off as Twilight fan fiction,
Yeah.
and they just changed the names for that.
It's true.
Yeah.
Just,
But
you know,
he's not a vampire though.
I don't think so.
No, he just works in
You find
finance.
out at the end. He preys on the weak and sucks the lifeblood out of their finances.
Yeah.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
What if you have?
But you find out at the
That's
end of the
a
third
big
one, he
change.
is a vampire.
What if like all the women who didn't finish the book, they just read the sex scenes, go to see the movie, and it turns out he is a vampire, and they leave like just so upset. And
So
horrified.
we made
No,
some
I think
changes
they'll
for
like
the
it
film
even more.
version.
I think it'll be the perfect movie.
So you guys in What We Do in the Shadows, you guys had a character that looks a lot like Count Orlok,
Yeah.
Peter.
He's an 8,000-year-old vampire in the movie.
Nice.
and you just changed his name.
That's true.
A proud tradition.
And then
Yeah.
then the Nosferatu people family, they're going to get us.
Shut us down. Oh, man.
We're going to destroy every copy but one.
Like that one Jerry Lewis movie. Was it Send in the Clowns or something? Have you guys heard about this? He made Jerry Lewis made a film and was so embarrassed by it or so ashamed of it that he's destroyed every copy but pretty much one, and he's the only one who has it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's like the Highlander of movies.
He just watches it over and over
Yeah.
again.
The only
should've-
one.
I should have used a Dutch angle.
He could make a
Could have
lot of
done a
money.
funnier face than that.
That would have been a great place for a hey lady.
It's getting to be Oscar season.
Okay.
I don't think
we're gonna-
have you got
I don't think we're going to get
Yeah.
on with
So,
this.
Sneers, jeers, snubs, chubs, whatever the opposite
we've
of
been
snub is.
snubbed.
We've been snubbed.
Pretty
Yeah.
sure we've been snubbed.
Yeah.
Like so
Hey,
many nosed
well-
pistols.
Tell me this. Someone pointed this out to me. What's the imitation game got on Rotten Tomatoes? It's something like 90, right? What We Do in the Shadows is 93, not in the Oscars. What is
Because
it?
it's
It's at 90%. Imitation game.
Check out What We Do in the Shadows. It's
93%.
it's as though the Academy doesn't even go to
Yeah.
RottenTomatoes.com.
I mean, they don't. I mean, unfortunately, like
They go by IMDb's top 250.
and like legitimately, to an extent, like I agree with everything with the logic, because there's so many movies that seem to do better, or even box office receipts at some point. And it's like I don't know, like they always complain about viewership being down, but yet they always have movies that 80% of middle America,
Right.
the populace doesn't even see.
Well, my other question is,
Well, ours is both
Yeah.
well,
well reviewed and people don't see it.
yeah.
has the film
Would,
debuted yet? Is it in theaters yet?
Not in America.
Okay.
So you're saying next
you
year?
go.
Okay.
Because
that makes me
that
feel
would make
better.
it eligible for the 2015-2016 Oscar
Yes.
season.
Cool. Okay.
But
Right.
I guess we should
And
probably
seeing they
move
don't
here.
So start
seeing they
campaigning.
Don't watch comedies
Yeah.
and the,
Oh, all
What do you
those
think?
but then again,
comedies that are always winning Oscars all the
yeah.
time.
the Lego movie also came out in the March in this time frame, and it got snubbed.
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
The plot thickens.
they
Was
hate
the-
the
was-
government.
was it a pretty
The Academy
thick plot
at
hates
this point?
vampires and they hate Lego.
They're in the pocket of Big Playmobil and Big Werewolf.
Yeah.
I think as soon as a film gets to 90% on Rotten Tomatoes,
Just get one.
the government
Yeah.
should step in.
You at least
And
get
just give an Oscar.
They at least should send you a
Give
Golden
an
Globe.
Yeah, it should send them something.
Yeah,
It's hard to get
a
up there.
soccer trophy.
Not
Even
many
just
people
a,
get up there.
even just a tomato.
Yeah, well, don't they?
A really fresh one.
Don't they send like a I know they get a certified fresh statue, a little statuette.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you actually do get a little statuette if your movie is reviewed to a certain point where it's certified fresh.
Oh, right.
So,
Well, we need. I think we need like 4 or 5 more reviews for that
Yeah.
to get certified. 'cause
and
it's
I
on
know some people at Rotten Tomatoes. I'll have a word
Thank
with
you.
my friends
Thank
over
you.
there.
Yeah, you
Make
guys
sure
have
they-
currently 43 reviews.
So that should be.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
Not
No,
enough.
3
We
of
haven't reached the statuette threshold.
Listen to this count. 40 are fresh reviews. 3 of them are rotten.
3 rotten.
3 people
Well-
out there don't like cool things.
Yeah.
One's
We know,
variety.
one's variety. They
Like we said, 3 people
do you
out there
know-
don't like
they
cool
hate
things.
cool things.
Yeah,
Everything.
exclusive.
Everything I've ever made, variety is
And me
hated.
too. Everything I've been involved with has got a bad review in variety. So I would feel wrong if I got a good
Yeah.
review in variety.
It's like it's like a good luck charm at this point.
I don't really mind. No one in New Zealand has heard of variety.
They're not getting variety delivered daily.
They're not giving out the free copies
Yeah.
in New Zealand.
More into Deadline.
Just
I'm
here.
so worried that all those people who are in waiting rooms in offices, advertising offices, are going to read
Yeah.
those variety reviews for free.
I don't
Here's a free review. Oh, let's check out these free terrible reviews.
Should I read this
of really good
magazine
films.
or stare at my cell phone until they call me in?
I don't take someone's word for something unless I pay hard-earned money for it. Here's $20. What'd you think of this movie?
That does make a difference.
And who are the other people?
Who cares? Let's not go over the bad reviews.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the Oscars for a
Yeah,
moment.
it's
Do you guys
Oscars.
know?
Let's not
we
go
do
about
not
bad
know
reviews. Let's get
anything.
back to us being snubbed at the Oscars.
Yeah, previously.
We do not know about the Oscars.
You don't know who's going to win?
Do you know who won the New Zealand Film Awards?
Yes.
I actually do. It was the
Just give us a second.
Is it-
As I remember.
Sorry, I'm trying to pronounce it.
You know what? I've been snubbed from the Oscars pretty much every year of my life.
It's outrageous. This is just further proof that the Academy needs to take a hard look at its membership and reevaluate what
about
they
that?
consider to be high art.
What about that cute video you did of your daughter doing a scary face on your phone?
No,
Snubbed.
snubbed.
That was considered for best documentary short, from what I read in Variety.
I don't know, man. The system's got to change, guys.
Yeah. And it starts with you, the podcast listener.
What were you going to ask about the Oscars?
Do you guys know where the name came from?
The Oscars?
Yes.
Oscar de Laurentiis.
Close.
Right.
Close. According to a biography of Betty Davis, it claims she named the Oscar after her first husband, bandleader Harmon Oscar Nelson. Now, one of the earliest mentions in print of the term Oscar dates back to a Time magazine article in 1934 from the 6th Academy Awards. Walt Disney's also quoted thanking the Academy for his Oscar as early as 1932. Another claimed origin is the Academy's executive secretary, Margaret Herrick. She first saw the award in 1931. She made reference to the statuette reminding her of her uncle Oscar, a nickname for her cousin.
Oh,
Oscar
you're that gold
Pierce.
guy.
Yeah.
He was always
With no
playing.
face.
Yeah,
That featureless gold man who
my
just
hairless-
stood outside.
smooth-skinned golden god of a cousin.
George Hamilton. No.
And columnist Sidney Skolsky, he was present during the naming and seized the name in his byline. Employees have affectionately dubbed their famous statuette Oscar. The trophy was officially dubbed the Oscar in 1939 by the Academy. So,
Yeah.
Betty Davis.
It's also the name
lying.
of when you plant 4 different things in the ground that work.
Yeah, it's when you
Yeah.
The 4
it's when you get
Oscars
those
is
three.
not-
It's when you get those 3 vegetables on top of your steak.
Here's a completely unrelated fact to movies or vampires or anything like that. It's getting kind of warm in the studio here. The AC tends to go out or whatever. And we do have a fan.
What temperature is it in the studio?
Do you want Kelvin, Celsius?
We use
or...
Celsius.
Yes,
But I think Celsius and Fahrenheit will be
Yeah.
appropriate for.
lovely.
Yeah. We don't have a barometer in here or
a barometer to
thermostat.
measure air pressure. We need
Um,
a thermo.
I was going to ask the air pressure in here.
Yeah, so, we're getting there.
There's a lot of pressure in here,
Yeah.
air-wise.
As far as fans go, we have a fan going on in here blowing, circulating some of the air here. The Punkah fan was used in India in the early 500 BC. It was a handheld fan made from bamboo strips or other plant fiber that could be rotated or fanned. During British rule, the word came to be used in a special sense by Anglo-Indians to mean a large swinging fan, fixed to the ceiling and pulled by a servant, called a punkawala. A punkah, Hindi pankai, is a type of fan used since the early 500 BC. The word panka originated from pank, the wings of a bird which produced a draft when flapped. And in 1882, Philip Diel introduced the electric ceiling fan.
Can you order the one that the guy pulls online?
Amazon.com.
Yeah.
Free shipping if you have an Amazon Prime.
Yeah, other customers
membership.
bought this with a giant fern leaf.
I was just thinking of the poor guy having to pull that fan all day.
Yeah, it's an honest living.
There's just a person for everything back then, wasn't there?
Yeah,
Just one person would be like...
That's
your-
what they'd
a
say
step.
instead of there's an app for it.
yeah.
There's a person for that. I'm trying to get on top of my elephant. I need a step. There's a person for that.
People, the original apps. Well, this is surprising. I just pulled up an article.
Those photos, those are old photos.
Please explain this cantaloupe. How did we get inside?
I was told that it would help me with my acting career.
Yeah.
And in a way, it did.
Yeah, I'm
I'm not ashamed, but I don't like to publicize them.
Well, I can see its echoes across your body of work.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. According to this, Johnny Knoxville of Jackass fame is the result of, quote, significant inbreeding, and this was discovered by a genealogist that he hired himself. I don't know what to do with that information. I just
So
couldn't
so
be
there's
alone
two
with it.
two DNA strands,
Yeah.
right? And,
Yeah.
and they were just both the same.
Yeah.
You worked with Johnny Knoxville, right?
I haven't. He was in Men in Black 2 and I'm in Men in Black 3.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. That's
And
something
we-
You've
I'm
worked within the
confused.
same cinematic universe.
We were in the
Universe,
same
yeah.
franchise.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, my character may have come
Yeah.
across him in
Yeah.
the universe,
Yeah.
but
Did you
I saw him in a store once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, so you guys started the Humor Beasts long time ago. How did you guys first become acquaintances and start working together?
We met in the library.
The library.
The libraries are great places, guys. For those of you out there.
Free
you know.
Wi-Fi, books.
Free Wi-Fi and books. Just so many books, so much information.
This
there.
was pre-Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it was pre-Wi-Fi. Yeah, we were both studying. Oh, actually, we're not even studying. We were hanging around waiting to do some auditions for a theatre show at university
Okay.
or college, and we've done the story a few times, but we both took
We
an
looked
instant.
across-
We both took an instant disliking to each other when we saw each other in the library. But then went on to discover that we both had a very similar sense of humour, and a friendship blossomed from there.
Why did you dislike each other?
Well, I saw him across a couple of desks across in the library, and there was a girl that he looked like he was helping to study, like leaning over and pointing at.
It looked like I was
passages in a
helping
book.
her learn how to write with a pen.
Were you?
Yes.
Do you remember? Who was that girl?
Very helpful,
Who was that
helpful
girl?
person.
Do you remember?
She's a very grateful girl.
Lovely, grateful girl who had never used a pen before.
But
That's so
now
brave.
right. Who can write?
And
Now
she had managed to get to university level without this.
Yeah. Well, that's getting in's the easy bit.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Her application essay dictated but not read.
Dictated.
Oh, guys, did we have to become sexist? Yeah.
We didn't have to.
It was
Guys, we
an
didn't have
option.
to. We
It
did.
was an option.
Two paths diverged.
I
Yellowwood.
was wearing like a Rasta beanie.
Oh, yeah?
Red,
Looks
red,
like
yellow,
a
and green
tea-
beanie.
Tea
Looks like a
cozy
tea
and
cozy.
the Jamaican flag colours.
Yeah. And he didn't like that. I was wearing that, and he was wearing like a
Not a fan of the Rastafarian
Glasses.
movement.
I was
he
wearing glasses.
on.
Nerd.
Nerd, crush him. No, he was wearing
And I
a
was
Samoan.
like, why do all the jocks get to help the girls out of their homework?
I could teach her how to write.
I'm your teacher.
Should
She's
be
not
me.
holding that pen right.
I was American then,
And
from Happy Days.
Hey, man.
Jemaine was wearing like a tribal shirt, like a tribal, with like tribal patterns on it and stuff. And I was like, look at this guy. He's not like a tribal warrior from
And I was
another
like-
culture.
And I was
was
like,
listening
you're
a
not
little
in Bob Marley's Wailers.
So he is.
You're not a rude boy.
Yeah.
You're
Neither of
Irie.
us were being who we.
You're
were
a
supposed to be.
Babylon.
So you look like you were in Bob Marley, and you looked like you were in Limp Bizkit, huh? With these tribals.
Well, by tribals, he means Samoan tapa cloth.
Yeah. The Limp Bizkit of New Zealand.
What would it be like? It's more like a Hawaiian shirt, I guess.
Okay.
But
So more like a
muted
Guy
colours.
Fieri.
Yeah.
Before I look at people in Hawaiian shirts, you're not Hawaiian.
You're
It's really
you're
angry
just a
about
party
it.
animal.
You're not just a tourist.
You're just relaxed.
You're just a really
probably don't
fun
even
guy.
have a
You're
recipe
just
for
really
poke.
nice.
What is it? The Simpsons Homer's like, there's only two guys who should wear Hawaiian shirts. Fat men and flaming homosexuals, and you are not flaming, sir. Or something like that. It was like I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, but it was funny. It was with I think it was the episode with the dude who was like zap with the gun. He had that.
Oh, then it was the reverse because
Yeah.
that's when Homer had to come to terms with his own
Yeah,
nascent homophobia.
yeah. Simpsons trivia for you that
Yeah.
I missed that I got wrong.
My
I'm gonna
friend
go.
Pip Brown has seen every single Simpsons episode.
Really?
Didn't they just play every single one?
They play, yeah.
Over here, not in our
FX
country.
launched a new network, and to celebrate, well, they launched it a while ago, but to celebrate when they acquired the Simpsons broadcasting rights for a ridiculous amount of money, they aired every episode of The Simpsons from start to finish.
I was at their house the other night, and
I'm glad they didn't stop it in the middle of the
Yeah, like-
episode. Just go, let's go, next one,
Guy
next one.
pauses, sorry,
Next one's really good.
I have to use the bathroom.
I was at her house, and one episode was on, and I said, "Have you seen this one?" She said, "Oh yeah, this is pretty recent. This was like 2003." She knew the year it came out, and she was like,
within the last 20 years, it's pretty recent. Last 25 years of its run.
"Did you see the opening, the Simpsons opening? That was like, I think maybe Don Hertzfeld had something to do with it."
No, that was incredible.
Yeah,
Don,
when it
it
goes
went
into the
off
future.
the rails. Yeah.
Yeah. But even like when he's like hitting the remote and then he's changing shape and stuff, like she watched that and she was like, "Oh look, he's gone to 1989 Simpsons." Like, he's like,
Yeah.
Homer. He's like, she could even tell like what year.
Oh my
the
goodness.
drawings changed and
Oh,
like, their
wow.
body shape. And
Did Don Hertzfeld do it in his style? Was it animated by him, black and
Yeah.
white and all that?
It was.
It starts in color and then
there's a mixture of lots of things. I'm not
yeah.
sure if he did the entire thing, but it looked like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of it was definitely in his sort of his style of
That's the
really
one where.
rough-hewn lines.
That's the one where at the end it was like just like polygons and like shapes
And, like, math.
weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, just sit and the character's saying, Simpson.
Yeah.
Simpson.
Yeah, just,
Don't have cow.
they just reduce them to their base elements.
Yeah, and they're just blobs.
How much would nobody understand if they did like the whole episode? Like, it's like,
Great.
so funny. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate as we're wrapping up here. We appreciate you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
When is this coming out?
This will come out on Monday. This will be coming out on the 6th.
Monday the 9th.
Monday the 9th.
Yes.
Oh, today.
Yeah.
Pretending that we're doing
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming out
Well, we should
day
mention
and
today.
date.
It's on now.
Today.
They're
This has
listening
been
to it
live.
now.
We've been broadcasting the whole time.
From the future.
We'll get told off if we don't mention our Kickstarter.
No, do
well,
everything.
please.
This is where
Yeah.
this is
the part.
this is the part.
Cut that bit out. We'll just seamlessly segue into.
Yeah.
We don't want
This
to be
is-
told off.
Yeah.
No, mention.
We don't want to be
anything-
told
one
off by
enjoys
the
being
people
told
we're
off.
paying.
I noticed you had.
We don't want you to get
read
told off.
that pamphlet you walked in with.
Okay. We're releasing in some cities. I can't remember all of them. You've got so many cities
Yeah.
here. We're releasing.
Why do you
in-
need so many cities?
You don't need that many. Just
I said we should just drop it down to like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. How many people would they have in each? On
enough.
average.
Do the math.
Enough that could fit New Zealand.
How many vending machines is that?
So we're starting in New York
Yes.
and
Los Angeles, which we're in now, actually.
Yeah. And that is February the 13th.
Today, when we were recording
Friday the
this.
13th of February,
Ooh.
This week,
which
yeah.
could be disastrous.
We were calling it Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because theoretically, Vlad the Impaler inspired Dracula, right?
Yes, that's true. And also Dracula inspired our character, Vladislav the Poker.
Yes.
Then what?
Then we're going to some more cities, but we're doing a Kickstarter in which you can get all the merchandise. We only have one place for merchandise, and that is our Kickstarter. So if you get that merchandise and stuff on our Kickstarter, we'll put it into getting our film to more cities.
So it's a
up to
it's a
you,
win-win
really.
situation
Yeah.
for you,
Yeah.
and it's a kind of
Win-win.
win-then-lose situation for us. But then we win because people get to see it. But yeah, so the more we make, the more cities it goes to, and we've got about 7 days left.
7
on
days
Kickstarter.
left.
No, because it's the
Well, no, it's
Monday,
Monday,
the
so we've
9th.
only got,
You got like
like
4 days.
4 days.
Yeah.
5 days.
left.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're at today on Monday, but we really need a big, strong push this
Maybe
morning.
we've
Push.
made it, but probably not.
So yeah, go to that Kickstarter.
What we do in the shadows.
You can
we
get-
don't even
yeah.
know what the URL
You can
is.
get beautiful art prints.
Just if you just
posters.
search "What We Do in the Shadows"
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter, it will pop up right
Okay,
away.
Good.
Yeah, Dan, do you want to read it? Do you want to try reading that URL?
Why don't you
How
pledge?
many-
Why don't you pledge there, Dan?
I
Have a look.
will.
Have a look at this new poster that we've just put up there.
It's a great poster.
Can I have a
No,
look?
not that one.
Not that one.
Oh, there's some more.
Go into updates.
There's
Have a look at
amazing
it.
art.
Have a look at this beautiful art print. You can imagine you having one of these up in here.
There's also a baby onesie, a cooking apron, a very erotic art print.
This.
That is
Oh,
pretty
that's
erotic.
really neat. That's awesome.
It's so erotic. All I can hear right now in my left ear is a high pitched buzzing. Yeah.
We're
The
doing
sheer
that.
eroticism just
That's
blew
Jemaine
out
and
my eardrum.
Jemaine and I
Your
doing
brain's
that to you.
sorted
Yeah.
out.
So yeah, guys, check out a very erotic art print. Donate to the Kickstarter.
That's a reference to the movie, by the way. The character does.
It's not,
We
just,
don't-
it's not
our-
just a porn print.
Our characters don't have a television, so one does erotic dances for the others. So that's what. It's not really erotic.
Now,
I mean, I think that's open for interpretation.
Yeah,
So-
of
art
course,
is
as
subjective.
anything is. Yeah.
Yes.
so the both of you wrote and directed this. Now, obviously, you guys
Are
are.
we
you know-
starting again?
Yeah.
No, but
Welcome
I had,
to Today We
I had
Learned,
I had
our
a
guest
question
today.
about this. How? So when you guys
we
obviously.
didn't fight. We didn't punch each other.
Everyone asks, were there any problems when you guys code?
you guys
No, he
it's
has
not the
another
first
question.
time
He has another
anyone
You guys
question.
ever
ever
punch
did
each
this.
other?
Okay.
So, I guess my question is, were there any fights on set? So obviously, you guys are best friends. You've worked on lots of things together.
So obvious
How-
when you see us together,
how,
hanging out like this.
I mean, what the listeners can't see is that
I have about 3 or 4 best friends who are
Best
best
friends.
friends equal. I have
Okay.
to say that for the other friends,
Yeah.
and everyone's on the same.
Well, I
level.
just assumed because your hand was on Taika's lap the whole show.
Yeah,
so.
no, he prefers that. It helps him get through it.
So obviously, did you guys first decide you wanted to collaborate again together on a movie and then start brainstorming ideas, or did one of you have the idea to do like a vampire movie first, and then I guess how did you come about?
We both equally had every idea and together.
1, 2, 3 vampires.
At the same moment, and then
We would write lists of stuff we want to do, like it might be a radio play, which is something that still exists in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Theatre shows, plays, all kinds of things, and movie was one of them. And
Okay.
and this is our first movie that we've written together. I acted in a movie of Taika's called Eagle vs. Shark a few years
Nice.
ago.
Do you guys find it difficult to direct yourselves in a scene?
Yes. That's hard, but there's two of us, so
Yeah,
the other
just
one can...
Planned it out so you're never in the same scene together?
Yeah, that doesn't always work
Yeah.
as well. And because we were shooting lots of footage in a short amount of time, sometimes we'd separate, and I'd go with the crew, and Taika
Okay.
would go with the crew, and sometimes
Oh, that's efficient.
yeah.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, divide and conquer.
Yeah.
because it's a mockumentary, it doesn't really matter if you look over to see what the camera's doing.
That's
Yeah.
true. Smart.
Yeah.
To make every movie
Is that the second unit over there?
We just want everyone
What's
who...
for lunch?
Wonderful. So yeah, everybody go to that Kickstarter, donate, and buy some posters and help spread the word and help get what we do in shadows.
Well, if you want to do that, do that. But everybody see the movie, regardless
Yes.
of whether you
Go
want
see
to or
the
not.
yeah.
We actually just added some cool rewards, which are some season passes to the Stanley Film Festival.
Oh,
which is
really?
a great horror festival in Colorado.
Okay.
And that happens in May, and they play all sorts of amazing stuff. And
It's- yeah,
we played there last year.
It's in the hotel that The Shining is based on.
Oh, in the
Oh
Overlook?
wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
With
no,
I know it has the...
Oh,
it's
no, yes.
is it the Overlook? No,
No, I
there's
think
two
it's-
different ones. The Stanley Hotel is where
Yes.
he wrote The Shining, and then they based it on the Overlook. I think.
Gotcha.
Is it called the Stanley Hotel? I thought it was
No,
named
it's-
after Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, I can't remember.
Okay,
You should be looking this up.
And you can also you can come to the premiere, and we do the Q&A and stuff, and you can even awkwardly touch us like a handshake.
Ooh,
if you
an
want.
awkward handshake.
And we had handshakes when
Yeah.
you tell them what it was like when you shook our hands out. My hand.
I slid through his hand,
Yeah.
grabbed sort of onto your wrist, and then you like lightly scratched my wrist with a single fingernail. I think it was the pinky nail.
And would you have paid for that, you think, if you got a movie viewing with it, a Q&A,
If
and
there was-
some PDFs of the script, the original script,
If that experience was connected to some sort of crowdfunding platform,
Yeah.
I would have donated an absurd amount.
Okay, well, that's what we're charging for that.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
guys, you got to get in on this.
And American dollars or New Zealand dollars?
It's all in American dollars. This is just for our American release.
Yeah.
This is the only tough country. Every other country it's playing, in independent cinemas, like Japan, Poland, even the Netherlands, Australia, England, Ireland. It's
I've
playing.
never even heard of half these countries.
No.
yeah,
I think he's making these up. Ireland.
These guys are fact checking as we.
Why?
Ireland. Is that 2 R's or 1?
2 lands.
The Stanley Hotel was built by Freeland Oscar Stanley of Stanley Steamers, the automobile.
carpet cleaners?
Okay.
Oh, it's got nothing to do with Stanley Kubrick.
No. Well, I mean, other than the fact that he, directed The Shining, but it was where it hosted Stephen King. It inspired him to write The Shining. Yeah.
I always thought the festival was named after Stanley Kubrick, but it's named after the hotel.
Yeah.
Was
and
designed by
the hotel is now
coincidental.
adding a hedge maze because for years they'd been asked,
They are,
"Where's
yeah.
the hedge maze?"
Yeah.
yeah.
They are. And hopefully by the next one they'll have tiny hedge maze.
Yeah, just
Growing.
little bush maze.
It just started
So
growing.
if you are
A seedling maze.
It'll be
seedling maze. that
It'll
you
be easy to solve. 'cause
if you
can
are
see the
a
top of it.
newborn or you
I
suffer
just-
from dwarfism, it'll
Yeah.
be great.
can just step over the walls. Just
Yeah.
walk in a straight line through it.
Well, this won't be suffering from dwarfism.
No.
If you benefit from dwarfism.
Yes,
in this
exactly. In this case, you win, we lose.
So where can the audience find you guys on the social medias?
Case. We're on the Facebooks.
In the tweeters. We're on Twitter. My name, his name.
No,
But
mine's
you've got an A at the beginning.
mine's Jemaine Clement.
Jemaine, one of
Good.
many. Jemaine Clement. I'm Taika Waititi. But with that, what do you call that thing?
An at.
An at sign.
The at symbol,
An at
yeah.
symbol.
No, there is another name. I've forgotten it.
Not
The
like
ampersand.
No,
ampersand.
the
that's the
ampersand is
and.
like
No, that's
the-
the and.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Epsilon.
So what's the
What is
at
it?
then? Because they had that before.
It's usually just called an at sign.
Okay. Is this a...
No, it
is
has a
this
name.
fake?
I know it.
It does. It's
Looking it
normally
up now.
read aloud as at is commonly called at symbol or commercial at.
Nicknames for it included snail, curl, strudel, whorl, and whirlpool.
Oh, the whirlpool.
The
Yeah.
strudel.
I'm,
what are
I'm
they-
Whirlpool Taika Waititi.
There's okay. There are and less commonly wide range of terms known as the at persand with a T and the strudel.
Is it called the at percent?
Yes, I mean not
that's a
some
made up
people
one.
do.
That's
It's
a-
gotta
Seems like
be
it's
made
going
up.
to get confusing.
When was it made? When was that symbol
Could have
made?
been made before the
I
internet.
thought when people typed out swear words, even on typewriters, they would be saying that as one of the symbols along with the hash.
Yeah.
And
Well,
the
well,
asterisk.
that is called the Grolix when there's a bunch of like asterisks.
When you're
and
trying
ats
to...
and all
Yeah,
that.
and a growlish,
Oh,
of
I know
course.
the Grolix, yeah.
Yeah.
A growlus.
From Asterix.
But when did the
Asterisk.
at symbol originate, and what was it originally called? Fact men.
It was, let's see here. It was not included on the keyboard of the earliest commercially successful typewriters, but was on at least one 1889 model.
Yeah, but
So
that
is
was before Twitter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Am I right?
1889.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one would think.
So what was
If
it
my
used
facts
for?
are
What was it
correct.
used for back then?
It's a good question.
Just writing swear words for
Put that
cartoon
thing in.
Yeah,
characters.
just covering up cartoon swear words.
Okay. The fact that there is no single word in English for the symbol has prompted some writers to use the French aerobase or Spanish and Portuguese arroba, or to coin new words such as aspersand, aspersat, and or ape tail.
Okay, I'm Aroba Jemaine Clement.
It was first introduced in 1972. A gentleman named Ray Tomlinson sent the first email, and he used the at symbol to indicate the email address's location rather than writing out at.
Okay, so it's been at
Yeah.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it first became a standard key on typewriter keyboards in the 1880s and standard on QWERTY keyboards in the 1940s. And
There's a big
yeah.
gap. There's a big gap that no one's
Yeah.
talking about, and they
but
don't want
everyone's
us to
going,
know about.
What were they tweeting about?
People are going, okay, we're going to have emails soon, any day now.
They've
Well, keep
promised
this
it.
thing. Let's throw this thing away. No, let's wait about 70 years.
The steam
Okay.
engine's going to change everything.
Yeah, so
Okay.
follow
well, that's one way.
Yeah.
What we do in the shadows is on Facebook.
yeah.
It's where you can find out everything.
And you
Excellent.
can see it in theaters this
February 13th.
Friday
Yeah,
13th.
this-
Yep, that
this Friday.
starts
Valentine's Day,
Valentine's Day.
at the ArcLight and
the sunshine in New York.
Sunshine.
And then
A few other places,
in a
though.
week,
Yep.
a week later, the 20th, some more cities. And if our Kickstarter is successful, then we'll spread it nationwide like a mold.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
I love it.
People love mold.
I love it. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We're going to wrap up. I would be remiss. I know the answer is going to be you can't, but people have been blowing me up on Twitter to ask, do you have any information about your upcoming Flight of the Conchords tour?
We're thinking like a nice bunch of songs. Start off with something like kind of funky groove.
I like it. love it.
And then build it up from there, and then kind of end on a kind of double whammy, pow
And on
pow.
a thank you, I would.
And on thank you,
And a
we're
thank
going to
you.
end with
And a
thank
good
you,
night.
everyone. We love you, and we're going to say that no matter what city we go to. We're gonna
You've been
say
the
that.
best audience.
Except sometimes we don't say that in Washington.
Really? Are they
Washington,
are they the worst
DC.
audience?
As so far, that's been my experience.
You're on notice, Washington.
You're on notice.
Washington State or Washington D.C.
DC.
Okay, that's what I
Exclusive.
figured.
Not
Exclusive
Washington
here.
State.
Yeah.
Not Washington.
We
State.
love it.
Honestly, I did look at the list that they've proposed, and we're thinking late summer. But
It's crossed out.
and I was
DC.
like, what? Why is Washington on here?
Yeah.
They're the worst.
Wonderful.
So rude.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, we appreciate you guys coming. We appreciate the audience for listening. Everybody go, support them, support the go see the movie. It's very, very funny. And tell all your friends to do the same thing. And you can follow us on
Even
Twitter.
people you don't know that well.
Yeah. Friends, enemies, anyone in
If
your
you hate vampires, tell us.
Yeah,
someone you
anyone in
hate
the
and
sound of your voice.
Force them to do this.
If you're in the library and
Neighbors.
you see someone helping some
Yeah.
girl learn how to write, tell them.
If you want to find out why there was a
might
lot of
become
behind the scenes
friends.
fighting and punching, everything. Well, guys, you can find us on Twitter. We are at TWL Podcast. You can shoot us an email, todaywelearnedpodcast@gmail.com. We're also on Facebook, Today We Learned with Razzle and Dan.
Surely the people listening know how to find you and they're listening.
You would presume so, but this might be their first entry point to the podcast because they see your names and they're like, oh, man, these guys are making What We Do in the Shadows. I'm super stoked on that movie. I donated to the Kickstarter, but how do I find these other two guys?
Who the fuck are these other two dudes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can also find us personally on Twitter. I am at OsteoFerocious.
And my name is at...
My name is Razzle, too. There we go.
I'm at My Name is Razzle, too. And yeah, thanks again for everything, guys. And we really appreciate you guys joining us.
Thank you,
and everybody
guys.
go check out the movie. Thank you.
We've seen it.
Yeah.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.